So my idea, I'm not sure how. What was I gonna say?
Take your time.
Sorry, I'm tired. If we have the robot higher, it makes it just easier to get to the pole, because then we don't have to, instead of having one massive arm that's like really long and flimsy, we just have the platform and the smaller arm. I think we should use not the orthogonal wheels as not these wheels, because the problem with these wheels is that when you try and turn corners, they can slip, which when you're having the robot automated, it's just another thing to go wrong. My idea for the actual arm part was that, because I was testing the pole, and when the pin's out, you don't actually need to really pull it down. You can just kind of hit it and it will fall out. So I think instead of having an arm, which can be the problem with the arm is that it'll be really annoying to code, because if you move the bottom hinge on the arm, it makes the rest of the rotation of everything else move, which is kind of annoying to calculate. Which I think we can instead have something just a bar like this. So this is a top-down view. If we can knock the bar down onto this and then just use one motor to rotate it around, and then we can, this is a side view, then we can just have another motor to push it back up. Which, I think that's, because then we don't have to deal with having a claw to grab on to the actual bar to move it, which is another thing that we have to do. And I think we should definitely have a camera or some form of way to sense distance or something on the robot. If we can have 3, that might actually help, because if there's an obstacle in the way, you can write pretty simple code for the robot to go forward until there's an obstacle, then turn one direction and then keep going, and then you can use the sensor on the side to see when you've gone past the obstacle, and then turn and go towards the direction of the pole. But I guess if we just have the camera or whatever on a motor to turn it or something, it might be easier. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Any comments? Ron?
Yeah, I think that what you said about the arm, we can still have an arm because it doesn't necessarily have to have multiple hinges. It can just be one single point where it moves. And I think that solves
the thing about that pole is that to move it, you've actually got to have 3 degrees of movement. So you've got to bring it down one way, and then you've got to bring it across, then you've got to bring it up another way.
Going off almost like Zara's idea, where you just have something that raises it up and brings it down, and then move it across and then brings it up again. Almost one direction of movement.
Yeah, but the bringing it around and then moving it.
Have the pole raised and then you just move the robot around.
Yeah. Okay.
You just almost just move it around.
Yeah, but we don't. Can I show the pole, or can I go do something? Yeah, because you don't actually have to pull it down. You can just and then just pull it out, which I think is
that's
how's it get back up?
that's then you put something else to push it back up, because to have the arm to pull it down, that's 2 motors, which is you have to have one motor to grab it and then another motor to pull it down. Except then, you still need something to push it up, but I think it's faster. It's dodgy, but it works.
I got a question about the structural reliability, because there'll be different hinges, because there's heaps of these posts around the world about will it always work? Maybe there's a rock stuck between it in an emergency.
Well, but doesn't that make it so that nothing else will work anyway?
Yeah.
Sorry, Hamish.
What was your point?
Oh, if we didn't have a motor that safely brings it down, then it might hold. The hinge might not be as loose.
Yeah. But I guess
how would the rock get in there?
We have to do it off this pole. That's what we have here.
Yeah.
Just a quick thing about the idea where the pole just kind of flops down, like, yeah, it's smart. But then if you try turning it when it's like that, it's a lot stiffer. Well, it's
I
supposed to
think
be a lot stiffer.
it's actually easier turning it down here because then well if you can get more leverage because if it's up here, the distance from the pole is that far, so you can get this much leverage. Except then if you put it down further, the distance is like bigger, so you can actually get more of that
force, like
yeah. Sorry. Yeah, because when it's longer, you need less force, and we don't really know how good the motors are yet, so it might help. Yeah.
I just think, yeah, I agree with your Matt, but like the closer the pole is to the pole, it's easier to turn.
Yeah.
I just found that. So.
Okay. But yeah, I suppose with that. But yeah, we can put. You can still hit it and have something like here to catch it, like rubber band saying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so as I was saying, like, if you're already having a motor that pushes it up, then you can just have it run reverse and take it down.
Yeah, but
And it's not that much more work to have a claw that grabs it.
but like when that's another the problem if you're doing it like automated, that's just another thing to go wrong. Whereas if you can just run into it, it's easier.
when you say just run into it,
like you just it's not working now. Yeah.
but the other thing is, and I don't mean to take this away from what you're saying, one of the year 7s, when they were designing their robot, right, so when they did Lego robotics, and they had to pick up the diamond. Do you remember did you see the diamond challenge?
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay, so so what they did was, rather than pick up the diamond, they made a L-shaped section with their thing, with their robot, and then as they went past, it would rotate. So you could actually have a very little claw, that's sticking out like this. So then as you go in, it would hook in behind, like what Owen's saying.
Yeah.
So instead of kind of grabbing it and trying to grab it, you could just go click,
Yeah.
and then when you bring it down, it drops it down, and then you can lift it up. I don't know how you're going to get up to let go. That's a different story.
Yeah.
Good job.
Anything else?
No, that's it.